Chapter 10, Follower Satisfaction and Engagement. Chapter outline, Introduction, Understanding the Influence of Follower Satisfaction, Understanding and Improvement Employee Engagement, Summary. Introduction. Too many highly trained, committed professionals return again and again to the methodology that employee engagement programs are the we might do to make them feel invested in us. They are an HR brand loyalty marketing program, really. Mark Kill, Human Resource Consultant. Happy followers may be content with the situation and express little urgency to get anything done, whereas dissatisfied workers sometimes produce superior results. So, what you're looking at when you think about what he just said here is, you have some people like they're happy because they're not doing anything. And then and there are some people who just that job they do just enough to get by and they're happy, they're content, but they're very not really not performing at a good level. So when we look at relationships among leaders, leadership, satisfaction, engagement, performance, and effectiveness, we see these things are all connected here. Here is a chart with the arrows. Pause and read through these and follow the chart, and you see how the process works. And we're going to talk about the process in the remaining slides. Understanding the influence in follower satisfaction. Satisfaction workers are more likely to continue working for an organization. Satisfied workers are more likely to continue working for an organization, engaged in organizational citizenship behaviors that go beyond job descriptions and role requirements, help reduce the workload or stress of others in the organization. So when you find people like this is that good stewardship, good citizenship, where they will do things. When you find these happy people and they're satisfied workers, they'll do things that you don't even have to ask them to do as a leader. They'll do things because it needs to get done. Dissatisfied workers are more likely to be adversarial in their relationships with leadership and engage in diverse, counterproductive behaviors. Dissatisfied is a key reason why people leave organizations, and many of the reasons people are satisfied or dissatisfied with work are within the leader's immediate control. In other words, a lot of this stuff could be handled by the leader to correct somebody's dissatisfaction, but either they choose not to or they don't know how to. Employee turnover has the most immediate impact on leader practitioners. Functional turnover is considered healthy for an organizational. Examples: when followers retire, do not fit into the organization or are substandard workers. So there are some things it's like, well, we don't want to lose people. Some people you should lose. That's acceptable employee functional turnover. And then there's people you don't want to lose. Dysfunctional turnover occurs when an organization's best and brightest become dissatisfied and leave. And they're leaving a lot of times because of various reasons, whether they're not satisfied with the job, downsizing. Most likely to occur when downsizing is a response to organizational decline. So it happens. Why people leave or stay? Why do people leave? So when you look at that limited of recognition and praise, compensation, limited authority, poor organization structure, repetitive work. Why do people stay? Or with it? Promises, long-term employment, exciting work and challenge, fair pay, encourages fun, collegial relationships, supportive management. And also you should have why do people leave? Poor leadership. So items found on job satisfaction surveys. Job satisfaction assesses the overall degree to which employees are satisfied with their organization and their job. So this is one to find out what it is, why they're satisfied, and it asks these questions, these assessments, like questionnaires. Facets of satisfaction assesses the degree to which employees are satisfied with different aspects of work, such as pay, benefits. People may not like the job, but they might like something about their job, something in there. Findings regarding global and facet satisfaction. People generally tend to be happy with their vocation or their occupation. Hierarchy effect. People with longer tenure or in higher positions tend to have higher global and facet satisfaction ratings than those newer or to or lower organization. Life satisfaction concerns a person's attitudes about life in general. So this is what they get. You hear this thing called work-life balance, and that's taken into consideration how things are working out between the person's personal life and work. And when you look at the satisfaction, people can be satisfied with aspects of the job, but not the whole job. Typical items on the satisfaction questionnaire. Overall, am I satisfied with my job? I feel feel the workload is about equal for everybody. My supervisor handles conflict well. My pay. Is there a real future for me? And exceptional performance is rewarded. We have good health plan care. In general, I am satisfied with my life and where I am going. So when you put this out there, and people are able to complete these things anonymously and submit them back, and so you should read them and take it to heart because they'll tell you things you need to know. Job satisfaction surveys are used extensively in both public and private institutions. Surveys results are most useful when compared with results from a reference group, such as an organization's past ratings, results, or ratings from similar organizations. Leaders must be willing to take action based on the survey results and risk losing credibility. So they can take the survey and see with this group of people who do this job, and they compare it to like 3 years ago when a group like them did the same job and surveyed to see kind of how things stand. But like I said, once you get this, you have to read and you have to implement it. Because if a leader does not do that, or organization does not do, they do lose credibility. And I can tell you right now, I've actually been a participant of that before in an organization. And I said, you know what? There's no need for me to even do this because it doesn't matter what I say. They're not going to do anything. Organizational justice is based on the premise that people who are treated unfairly are less satisfied, productive, or committed to their organizations, likely to initiate collective action and engage in counterproductive work behaviors. Consists of three components. Interactional justice reflects the degree to which people are given information about different reward procedures and are treated with dignity and respect. Distributive justice concerns followers' perceptions on whether the level of reward or punishment is proportionate to the individual's performance or infraction. Procedural justice relates to the process that rewards and punishments are administered. So when you look at these things all come into play. And as you look at these components, you have to take them seriously, and you have to get the people to take them seriously. And when you get feedback from this stuff from people, you have to respond. You have to respond accordingly, and then look at the types of components when it comes down to the justice components here. Herzberg two-factor theory. Identify the following factors of satisfaction. Work motivators, factors that lead to satisfaction at work. Hygiene factors, factors that lead to dissatisfaction. Efforts directed towards improving hygiene factors will not increase followers' motivation or dissatisfaction. So you got to understand when you look at what type of motivation are you talking about, and you look at the different type of factors. So you like work factors that they lead to satisfaction, but hygiene factors that lead to dissatisfaction at work. So things that you have to look at, and so you see that they will not increase hygiene factors will not increase somebody's motivation for them to want to do better. So here we see the chart right here. Not satisfied, motivators, and satisfied. You see hygiene factors, dissatisfied, not dissatisfied. Understanding and implement employee engagement. Some aspects of said job satisfaction are highly related to employee engagement. Employee engagement, followers' attitudes about the organization and their work activities. Fully engaged followers are believed to be more committed to team and organizational success, put forth more work, directed effort, and put in hours necessary to complete the tasks assigned. Disengaged followers do not care about the organization's success and not interested in and are more interested in collecting paychecks than completing work assignments. So this is when you look at people and you say, you know what, why some people are achieving, why some people are not, and why some people are just doing enough to get by. Everybody's going to be different. But you got to understand, I used to tell people, you got to identify who are your stars and who are your duds. And when you do, you got to figure out maybe why. Because some people, I don't care what you do, you can never make them happy. So, and then there's some people you can make happy. And you can take them from being disengaged to becoming engaged. Surveys are administered to determine what percentage of people are actively engaged, disengaged, or actively disengaged. Presentism Presenteeism is common in many organizations. Presenteeism's notion of being at work while one's brain is not fully engaged. They're here physically, not here mentally. Employee engagement has become so popular over the years because of engagement, shareholder value chain. Organizations with higher percentages of engaged and active engaged followers should ultimately generate higher shareholder returns. Some organizations feel obligated to survey employees but not compelled to improve engagement scores. Other organizations erroneously believe perks cause employee engagement. This does not make up for long work hours or monotonous work. The best approach is for leaders to share results with their followers and jointly identify factors potentially affecting the results as well as areas of strength and improvement in the engagement process. Biggest obstacle to improving employee engagement: incompetent management. I'm going to say that again. The biggest obstacle to improving employee engagement: incompetent management. Some leaders have no idea how followers feel about work. Others mistreat followers and do not care about whether they are engaged. And from what I'm hearing most of the time, the biggest reason most people do leave organizations is because of incompetent management. Summary. Job satisfaction is a set of attitudes people have about work, their careers, and their lives. Employee engagement is concerned with followers' specific attitudes about work, the equipment they use, the impact of their work, recognition, rewards, and their immediate supervisors. Local economic conditions, ill-conceived organizational policies, major change initiatives, anonymity concerns, demands, effects, the nature of the work performed, and follower expectations and personality traits can impact employee engagement scores. That concludes this chapter.